Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and anybody new that's new, welcome. My name's Debbie, I'm the Crafty Shopper. Today we are going to be doing a Jenga block shadow, a Christmas shadow box. Preference of glue, I use Well Bond. You can buy it at Rona, Lowe's. I've heard they have it at Hobby Lobby. You can order it online. DT does sell wood glue. They don't sell it at my location, so this is my preference that I use. I do hear that DT wood glue does work. I do not suggest using hot glue at all because it doesn't seal the blocks properly. And I'll just show you here. You can see how there's a little opening still, and sometimes you'll get the little hairs sticking out, and then it just doesn't look good. Whereas opposed to using wood glue, you have a nice flat finish and sealed properly. I know a lot of people have been messaging me asking, oh, that they tried wood glue and it fell apart. So it depends where you live. If it gets too cold or too hot, say you have a build in the window and it gets really warm and really hot, pieces will fall off. The only time I suggest using hot glue is if it's one or two pieces, not on a whole build, because it'll eventually fall apart, and you don't want to wreck all your hard work on any of these builds that we do. Tumbling tower blocks, you can find them in the toy section. I heard that you can order them online for my US friends, and here in Canada we do have to buy them in the store. Ask a manager, they're really good. I find all the managers have been pretty good that I talk to, and when I'm looking for something, usually they'll let me know, or they'll hold it till next time they see me. Some of my first builds were with the bigger blocks, so you can use bigger Jenga. It's just going to be a way bigger build. I did post on my Crafty Shopper page on Facebook the difference between smaller blocks and bigger blocks. I did a nutcracker, and it was quite a significant difference in size. You can always look that up. It's an old post, but it is on my page. In the hardware section, you can find the L-shape carpenter ruler. When I glue the blocks, I do glue them, pre-glue them off camera, just so my tutorial is not really long. When you're gluing them, you get the nice, they're not always going to be even on both sides, because as if you worked with the blocks before, they're not all perfectly straight, but at least you'll have the one side that's a little straighter than the others. When you glue them, you can just do like that. That's what I do, and I just keep moving it around on my mat. The build today will all be flat. None of them are going to be stacked. What I mean by flat and stacked is, for anybody that's new, flat means they're just glued like that. Stacked means, oops, like that. Now, we are gonna, the total blocks for this build will be 120. I always suggest to make sure that you watch the whole video, because sometimes I do add or take any away. So right now it's 120, and I don't think I'm gonna add any more, but you never know. So we're gonna start with the bottom of the shadow box, and I'm gonna cover it here. We're gonna glue them flat, and you're gonna have 16 across. Then you're going to add another row of 16 glued together just like this. And that's going to be, did I say the bottom or top? I'll say the bottom. Then we're going to do times 2. So you're going to do another 16 and another 16. So that's 32 blocks for the top. Same with the bottom, 32. Now for the sides, I'm going to move this over here, guys. For the sides, I'm just going to do the same like this. We're going to do 14 and another row of 14, which is 28. And we're going to do the exact same number for the other side, which is 56. And these two together are 64, which is 120. And I'm just going to place them just like this. And when you glue them, you're just going to glue them right along the side here on each side. Once I glue these, I am just going to leave it overnight to let it set. Whatever glue you do use, please read the back of the instructions of your bottle just to make sure appropriate drying time, because sometimes things will fall apart. It just depends on what glue you're using, and also it needs time to cure. Like for these ones, for Well Bond, it says 24 hours, but it says up to an hour. So it just depends. I usually just leave it overnight at the end of my day, and then tomorrow then it's solid and I can move it around. So now that I have it glued from overnight, I ripped up a bunch of paper towel, and I think last year was some of the tutorials. I think after a while, I think, oh, you guys were all sick of the paper towel mache. You can use paper. You don't have to. You can just paint it white. I want some texture on the side instead, especially with white. You can really see the lines in the blocks. When we put the paper mache on, we do not want any paper mache around the edges on the front and the back, because we are going to be gluing something on the front and back. So we want to just make sure, and we are going to do the inside as well. I'm just going to use this white glue from DT. I just got some in the, I'm going to turn it this way. When I didn't make them super small, but say for example in the super corners, it's much easier so that you're not putting it on the edges on both sides, and just painting some on. And you're just putting it on like that, and just lightly coat over it. Doesn't matter what paper towel. I like this one's a little bit more textured, as you can see, and it just gives it a better look. You could also do, I think people have done the baking soda, but I did try it just a little bit, and I think I just want to go with this. I liked how, I think I did this on the Jenga block coffins last year, and I think actually some of the characters that I made, the elf and the Grinch, I did that as well, and it just gives it a nice texture look to it. So I'm going to do this all the way around, and I'm going to do it on the inside as well. I left it overnight to dry, so as you can see, none of the top has any of there's a little bit here, but you just want to make sure that you keep it flat. Now I'm going to paint the inside and the outside. You can put it along the line here too, it doesn't matter. Just with the DT white paint or the color of your choice. Now that I painted it, I just wanted to mention a few things. When you are using the paper towel mache, it also gives it sturdiness, and it gives the build, just because it's a bigger build with Jenga blocks. Even though the Well Bond glue is great, it just gives an extra stability for the build. So when you're putting stuff on it. I didn't do the best paint job just around the edge, and that's okay because it's going to be covered. But first, we are going to do the back. And I did want to mention, I have a little, when you use the paper towel mache, because it is white and you're covering the blocks, and I don't know if you ever painted Jenga blocks with the white from DT, it does take several coats. So with the paper towel mache, I only had to do one coat on it, and I did a couple touch-ups just because I didn't saturate it enough. But I just, a lot better than doing 4 or 5 coats of white paint. We are going to do backing on it, just a white board foam board from DT. You're going to put it on, and you're just going to trace out along the side with a pencil. Just be careful not to get it on the actual build. I'm just going to do that quickly. Now that I cut it out, when you're cutting out the foam board too, make sure you use an X-Acto knife and a ruler, and put some pressure on it, straight cut. You can't use scissors on it. The foam tends to come out of it. You're going to find your favorite gift bag. Now I had this gift bag from last year. I think this one was Dollarama. I'm trying to look on the back, Dollarama, but you can use any gift bag you want depending on the background of the shadow box. So I did use the other side already from last year. I used it for one of the Jenga block trees I did. That turned out really nice. So I'm just going to actually just cut out the gift bag part and to put it right on top of here. Now that I cut it out, it's a little bit bigger than the bottom part, and that's okay. I'm just gonna go around my edges and just put a coat along the edge. Place it on right in the center. I'm gonna flip it over, and I'm just gonna keep some pressure on it, and I'm gonna leave it for about a half an hour. I don't wanna do it all behind the whole pitcher, only because I find that sometimes when you use Mod Podge, you get like a little bit warpy, and I don't want it to be warpy at all. So I just find along the edges will be fine. Nothing's gonna be hanging from here, and it's gonna be glued after onto the back of the box. So I'm just gonna do that quickly. All right, now that I have that done, I am gonna use Wellbond to glue it on in the back, just with the hot glue. I don't want it seeping out at the sides. You could use Mod Podge as well. I'm just going to use Wellbond along the edges. I am going to just put a little bit all the way around and then let it sit. Make sure it's on properly and it's on the corners. Sorry, it's not sticking out on the corners. We're going to do a front surface on this. Now I am doing a second one, exact same build, but I'm going to do it a different way and give you another option, another idea to make one. I'm going to do it a different color. So it's just on the side, it's still drying. I will show you that one as I go along when I catch up, so to speak. I'm going to get a DT frame. It's an 8x10 frame. I didn't have white, so I'm stuck with the black one, and that's okay. We can just paint it. Now I'm just gonna try to find. I'm gonna move this right out of the way. I'm gonna take all these out. Just be careful with the glass, you don't cut yourself. And we're just gonna take some pliers. Oh, everything's falling off. You're just gonna pull these little inserts out. It's gonna give me all the way around. My old fashioned pliers. I'm gonna bring this back over here. So I'm gonna paint it. I want to stick my head just to make sure. So I am gonna use just Mod Podge. I'm gonna give it a coat, a coat of Mod Podge, and then I'm gonna do white on top of it. It's just gonna go on just like this. But I'm gonna do those colors, and I might do something else. I'm just gonna wait till I have it done to this part. I'm not sure. I'm playing around with an idea yet, and we'll see what happens. So while the front part of the picture frame is drying, we're gonna add, I just wanna add the little, kind of mesh the corners on the box on the inside. I'm just gonna add some Mod Podge, and I'm gonna paint a little bit of this Mod Podge. I'm just going to show you here. And I want to add just some snow to blend in the front and the back. I'm just going to do this. I have to put it in a container. I'm just going to just paint along the corners and a little bit on the side. I got my pizza pan. Just going to put a little bit on there. Just kind of have a little frosting, so to speak, all the way around the edges. I like how the snow it doesn't show the corners very well. It just gives a nice warm feeling to it. Now, when I painted this white, there's still little marks in there that you can see. I'm going to cover it up. I didn't want to use too much silver. because we are going to do the feet with silver, but I am just going to use this extra fine white from DT, from Michaels. And I'm just going to give a coat of Mod Podge on it and add some glitter. Once I do that, I'm just going to glue it right on and make sure it's center. I am just going to use Well Bond to glue it on. So I did a second coat for the picture frame that goes on the outside, so it is drying. So instead of sitting here, I thought I'll move on to the feet. And DT has these little apples, and I just took pliers and pulled the top off. I had to play around with it for a few times, and then I end up getting the top of the apple off. I like that the bottom of the apple is flat, and I think they would make really great feet. And doing all 4 corners of it. I am going to use Well Bond to glue those on. And then once they are glued onto the bottom of the feet, I am going to paint them. Just get a base coat on them with the silver metallic from DT. We do pay $1.50 here. Some stuff in our stores recently gone up to $2, which is sad. And then just some DT glitter. I'm going to do right after the metallic dries. The only reason why I'm going to glue them on first, it's just easier to work with them when they're on this way, as opposed to trying to hold them on just because they're like round and trying to glue them and stuff like that. And I think it'd just be easier to do it that way. Now that we have it together, got the legs on with the glitter, looks really nice. And the frame on top. Now, if you find the corners right in between here has a little gap, you can just go through with just some glue. And then if it's just a little bit shiny, just do a little coat of white acrylic paint. Now, inside, I'm just going to show you on the angle here. On inside here, there's a little gap, and the color is where I painted it white. I'm going to just put the same idea like I did with the back right here. I'm going to do it in the front all the way around. Now, if you have any snow that I still have some lingering around in there, that's fine, because we're going to put some on the bottom. Now we're going to do light up. You can do fairy lights, or you can buy one of these push lights from Dollar Tree. The only thing I suggest is using good batteries in it. I just have mixed ones right now because I thought I had batteries at home. I just wanted to show you, if you use the better batteries, they last longer. So I'm going to show you, we're going to place it on top in the center. The only thing is you're probably going to see a glare right now. And we are. So when it's glued on top, all you have to do is twist it off to switch the batteries and just put it back on. Now they do have this sticky thing on it, but I would suggest using extra glue. I'm just going to use some Well Bond on top of that when I stick it on there. And I'm just going to turn this upside down. Let me turn it around here. Just upside down like this and glue it right on the center and leave it till it's fully dry. But before I put that on, I am just going to dab some, just some white paint along the rib here. All the way around so you don't see the black when it's up there. And I have a piece of garland. When I was looking through some of my Christmas stash, I just found a piece of garland like this. Don't know if I have any more. It was just one piece. I think I used this on one of the Jenga block sleds last year, the bling one. Now you don't have to. I'm just going to hot glue it. Oops. This is difficult ones to work with. Just going to hot glue it all the way around. So it just gives it a nice, I'm going to move this back. It will give it a nice, just like, almost like a, how can I call it? Like a chandelier hanging from there. So I'm going to glue that and put that on and let it dry. So while the top part of the light is drying, I did tell you earlier that I was going to do another one. So it is the same build, the exact same blocks with the paper mache inside on both sides all the way around. I just painted it black all the way around and the inside all red, and along the edge here we are going to use, which is a little bit easier. I had another frame that actually broke. I did keep the top part of the frame just in case I was going to use it for another project. And once again, it is an 8x10 and it just fits perfect. I love that it has the lines in it, and it is from DT. Now this is from last year, I think about a year ago. We had a picture in it and it was broke. It was down in my basement, and I thought, when I was digging through looking stuff, I was like, yeah, this will be perfect. That will be glued on, and I'm not going to do anything else to the frame because I like it as is. Same concept for the back of the shadow box. Cutting out a board, exact same shape, just like the first one, except this time I'm going to use, this is a gift box from DT. Sorry if there's a shine on it. It was a little bit too short, and so when I unfolded the sides, I just left the little part down, and I will just figure out what I'm going to do with it after once I get it in there. So I'm going to just glue this down, exact same thing, put it on top like this. Might not be even. I don't want to stick my head under the camera. And I'm just going to glue it on just like that and have it like this, and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, so I left it overnight to glue on top. As you can see, I did paint it white, and I think it turned out really well. Now I had another idea as I put the light in, and I'm just gonna move it over here. Now DT came out with these icicles. They come in the clear, and they also come in blue, and I believe they did come shorter, and I didn't buy the shorter ones. I just bought the tall ones. Now, I broke the stems off them. I would keep these for, if you've seen some of my Jenga blocks stacking stars, or just the stars with the Santa and the little, with the hanging balloons with the Christmas balls. These would be really good for that. These you can always keep for future projects. You never know what we can do with those. So I just broke off some ends of them, right at the ends, and I did different lengths. What I wanted to do is kind of like hanging icicles. Probably it's gonna be hard to see just with the reflection of the light. I'm gonna actually turn it off. And I wanna just, I'm gonna prop this up here. Hold on a sec. I just want to hang a couple all the way around. Now it depends on the length that you want and what you're going to put inside here. But I just wanted to put a couple, and I'm just going to use hot glue. Turn this upside down and just hot glue and hold them. You could also just dip a couple on the ends with some glitter, or even like some white glitter. I'm thinking about that, but I think I'm just going to leave them clear. But you can do that just like icicle tips all the way around. I'm just going to do a couple. I broke off, the pack comes with 4. So I'm going to do like 4 or 5 on one side, and then the other on the rest. What I want to put in here, you can see the glitter's all over, but that's okay because we're going to put some snow. It's actually snow, I mean. DT came out with these like bigger trees. I want to put one of them in right like that. I will paint the base white, so this is just not prominently sticking out here, and hot glue that. And then the famous clear reindeer, I want to do him right on the other side. I had a little piece of fur, and it's not beside me, and I don't know where it's disappeared to. Just a piece of fun fur that I just want to wrap around the collar and glue him down as well. And also put some little snow down here. And I think I'm going to try to see if I have some presents in my Christmas stash. I haven't pulled out all my Christmas stuff yet. And maybe just some little presents. So let me get those icicles glued on and glue those pieces in. All right, guys, so I did finish it. I did add just some of these, there are 2 of them. It's a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. I just wanted to give it just a little bit something. And we have the little icicles up there. Now I'm just gonna turn on the light. And I just think it looked really neat. I did put some, just some Mod Podge around the top of the icicles to conceal the hot glue, and put some fake snow. I used a star because I didn't have any bells, little bells that I could fit there, and just two little presents with some faux snow on the bottom. So now that we finished this one, we're gonna go back and I'm just gonna finish the other similar build. I just wanted to give you the look with it, the build going upright, and now we're gonna do the other one. So on the, I did the feet with the apples again. I just put them in, I painted them black, plain and simple. I was gonna use, and I'm gonna show you them here. You could use these little, I guess, little tree pieces, stumps that you get from DT, as long as you can find ones that are equal, like in height, all the way around to keep it level. You could do that, wrap them with jute rope. I just went with the classic black and the apples, just that I thought they're really good fit for some legs. Now that I had this on, I realized after that I glued it on and the foam board was white. You could use the black one. Just be very careful when you paint it, because when you paint foam board, sometimes the foam board paper on top on both sides will peel if it gets too wet. So as I painted it black, I just wiped it with paper towel and dabbed it just to make sure it wasn't that wet. And oops. And I went along just the little edges, the white foam part, and just did that black as well. Now I do have that spot underneath at the bottom of the box here that I'm gonna fill. And I was going to use, now I'm gonna do the light first in this one. You can use the same light as we did with the other build, having it like that inside. But I am gonna go opt out and use fairy lights for this one. I have such a disaster over here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I found them. I got these from Amazon. They come in a 12 pack. It's the Bright Town ones. $20 in Canada. You might get it a little bit cheaper in the US. US prices are a little bit cheaper than what we pay here in Canada. And I get the warm white ones. I prefer the warm white ones only because the bright white ones, I think they call them bright white, or just, I don't like the glow of them. I like the warm looking ones. Now, you're gonna puncture a hole, and I already did one right in the corner down here. Just make sure when you're putting the foam board, puncturing the hole, that you don't break it off the edges. And you're just gonna put this all the way down. I'm not gonna do that right on camera right now. Now with these ones, they have 4 screws. The 2 screws closest to the end, you're gonna take out, and you're gonna glue it down flat with the other 2 screws facing down, only if you need to change the batteries. And of course I can't do it right now. I don't want to break a nail. That you're going to be able to open it up right like that to change the batteries. And once you get it to the other side, I'm just going to keep going in a square, and I'm going to hot glue it down right in the corners of the back of the box. Now that I have it, the lights glued in, I'm just going to turn it on here. I'll show you on the side. I just put it in the end, easy turn on. And that's what it looks like. I got all these little bit of hairs, glue hairs. I'm going to do the same thing to conceal the wire. I am just going to go around the edges at the back with some Mod Podge and some fake snow. All right, now we're going to put some trees. I'm going to put 3 of these from Dollar Tree. I'm going to stick hot glue, the big one kind of in the corner, and put the 2 little ones just around it. So I found this little guy. I've had him, excuse me, from Dollarama last year. Now you can pick anything depending on your decor. his little backpack. He had some candies in it at the time. Just gonna throw some little presents in the back of his backpack. Excuse me. I'm gonna hot glue him right kind of in the center here. Now, I like him because he was the green. He kind of matches the snowman in the background. Now, if you've seen the one that I did last year with the Jenga block stars, one of the ones I did was with the Christmas balls, and it looks like floating balloons. Now, I'm just looking what I have because I went to Dollar Tree this afternoon and they didn't have not much Christmas stuff out. So some of my stash, and these ones are from Dollar Tree, and they come in a couple different, I think it was just these ones. And then I have these red ones and they have no top on them, so I don't know where they came. Now the only thing is they don't have a little attachment for a string, because we're going to make it look like, and it was just perfect with him having his little hand like this, that it would look like he's holding balloons. And I'm just going to start hot gluing it upside down and making sure the end is pointing this way. I'm going to see if I can dig in some more of my stash and see if I can find any other ones than just silver. I wanted a couple different colors. I might be able to stick these ones in between. Let me look what I have, and then I'm going to hot glue him down just so I know for placement when I turn it upside down. All right, so it's upside down right now. And I did find some Christmas balls. I'm going to show you them. I just found these ones. I already took some of the stuff off them, but I just took the little buckle off the belt, and it came off no problem, and just like that. And then I took some of the balls, the little tops off. Well, it's not the same top, and then I just hot glued them on. But I realized I don't need that many to do that, only because the little ones came, here, let me show you, sorry, had these little tops, and I kind of didn't want to have those tops and the other tops, at least silver. So we're going to start upside down. I'm just going to grab some. Now I realize, you know what, maybe I should put the light on. Oh no, you guys can see. We're just going to place some. So I'll give you an example. When you're looking at a bouquet of a big bouquet of balloons, all you see at the bottom is the bottom part. Say, for example, let's see if this one has one on the bottom part here. But when you see a bouquet of balloons, you don't see it on top. So we're going to just put them sideways like this. And let me do another one. I'm trying to pick a different one here. We'll pick this one. I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to hot glue those three on. All right, so I have added extra balls on here, and then we're going to glue another layer. I'm just going to stick them in there like that. I'm just hot gluing them down once I stop. And let's add another one here. And we'll do a sparkly one right there. All right, so we have 2 rows. Put another 2 balls into here, and then I'm going to, how many do I have here? 5. I'm probably gonna do one more red. I got a bunch of those little strings that come with the Christmas balls, and I'm just gonna glue them with this part sticking up towards his hand on top of here. I'm going to glue a couple all the way around. All right, and I just hot glued them right to his hand. So I just did a couple in there. Oops, as you can see on the side. And now I'm just going to put some Mod Podge, I always say Mod Podge, on the bottom, and add some snow. All right, so I was able to glue them on. I found it a little bit difficult than I did with the other one I did last year, only because they're concealed in the back. I'm just picking off the hairs on them. Now, there's a little spot with hot glue as I was gluing them, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of snow on there. Now, I did add some extra strings just at the back, and it usually will be a little bit straighter. It's just because the way the arm's going, because I have it downwards, making him look like he's holding that. Now, I needed something for here. I decided to just glue a couple of the bigger styrofoam balls to make it look like, what do you call it? Snowballs. And I'm just gonna hot glue it right on the side there. As I was putting together and had it upright, I just said it was really missing something. I wanted to add something that'll make it pop a bit. It was just a little bit plain. I know I put the little white bells on the other one, or the silver bells on the white one, but I wanted something a little different. And I want it for the outside. I'm gonna add some more snow too here to the bottom of it. I wanted to add a little something to the top, but I thought a bow would really be great. I'm not the best bow maker. I'm gonna show you, I already made the bow. If you don't know how to make bows, I got this at Walmart, and I think it was like $15. It was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Super easy. He made all these crazy. I've only ever used simple bows. I've only used it a couple times, but I thought it works really good. And I'll just quickly show you how you can make great bows if you're not like me. I don't make great bows, but I usually put just a zip tie in. It's a little bit sideways right now. And when you're doing layers of bows, I already made one and I'm gonna show you in a sec. Just really easy to do. These actually pop out. I know there's a couple different kinds, so you can measure when you're putting out certain length that they're even on the side. I never use that. I just kind of guess. And when you put it in, and I'm just going to do it fast, I will show you the one I made, sorry. And I'm going to make it shorter. And it's all just trial and error. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really used this. This is from Marshall's. I think I got it 2 years ago. Just for example, there's a part there. And just twist it down. Then I would cut here, and you can keep adding layers and layers onto the bow. Once it's done, just take it up, you close the zip tie, pop it off with the zip tie, and tie it with all your layers on it. Works great. I'm not the one. I've watched a couple tutorials in the beginning when I started crafting a couple of years ago, and I just thought it was, I couldn't hold it in my hands. In your fingers where they show you how to hold it. So this is the one I made. I did add a little bit black, and the black velvet one is from DT for the Halloween one. And like I said, the other one's from Marshall / HomeSense. And I want to put it right on top. Just kind of leaned over like this. I'll have to show you the front view because I played around with it already, and it just made it pop even more. And just kind of gluing it down. I like the ones with the wire, so you can just kind of gather it up a little bit as you go down, and do that on both sides. In the middle here, usually you can conceal the zip tie if I was just doing a regular bow with either color of the bow like that, or just a piece of the black clipped on that you could conceal the zip tie on it. It's really your choice what you would like to do. I'm not going to conceal it because we are going to cover it up. DT came out last year with these floral picks, and I'm just going to stick them, and I'm going to hot glue them off camera, but I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to stick a little bit of the green on either side. I have 2 of them. And then I just have pieces, a pine cone and a little bit of red. Stick in this piece, hot glue it there. I'm gonna cut this leaf off and just put a little bit. I don't want too much red. And just kind of top it off with pine cone. I'm just going to show you kind of like that. I'm going to get these glued on, and I am just going to flip it over and glue the snowballs in as well. All right, guys, here it is. I think it turned out super sweet. Now, if you did want a lighter, it gives it a warm glow, but if you wanted something lighter, I'm just going to show you what you could actually put that in there. I just like the little bit less ambiance, and I think it turned out really well. And I just really like it with the greens on top. Just adds a little something and makes it a whole package. I think it turned out really well. And then I'm just gonna move this one over. And then we have this one here with the light. I think they turned out really well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Happy crafting. See you soon. Bye.